What is going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to talk about the tactics that we will probably see with Chelsea versus Napoli Champions League, the last group match before we see where everyone draws in the table. Now, that being said, Napoli right now, 25th position. They are on the outside looking in, so they definitely need at least a point, if not a win here. Now, you could argue this is a big match for Chelsea as well, because if they can finish in the top 8, they then get 2 games off, which could be massive for this club, especially with some of the injuries we've been dealing with. Now, again, that being said, looking at the tactics, I think it makes sense what we go with. Again, we saw what we did this past weekend. I do think Rosenior goes with the exact same tactics. Cucurella, Chalobah, Fofana, the only guy that we will see differently. Reece James, Caicedo, Santos, Enzo in that midfield. Neto, João Pedro, and obviously Esteban. With how good he's been as of lately, it would make absolute sense to see him start and again just run rampant on that right side, because right now with the Brazilian flair between him and João Pedro, I think these two guys can easily keep connecting up, linking a play, and obviously just absolutely destroying defenses, because both these guys are very creative. Now, they do lack some components when it comes to it. I would say Esteban is more heavily favored to his left foot, even though he can still score with his right foot. João Pedro isn't as good area-wise to say as Liam Delap, but still, both these guys, the way they can dribble the ball, they don't really need players around them. They can be isolated, which helps out Rosenior and his tactics. Because of this, we can overload different areas. We can leave Esteban all by himself. We know how good Reece James is. He can defend this entire area. Obviously, Caicedo, same thing. He can overlap over here and help defend, so therefore, again, we don't have to rely on Esteban as much as possible. Now, that all being said, though, I do not know if Cole Palmer will be fully fit. We didn't see him this past week, and we haven't actually seen him in the last 2 matches. Possibly we are still resting him for later on for the rest of the season, depending on how the rest of the season does go. But that being said, I do think Enzo Fernandez playing in that 10 position has done quite well. And obviously, Santos, I think, is getting better and better each and every game with Caicedo. And obviously, we saw him with Strasbourg, how he played under Rosenior. We've seen him work well with him before, and obviously is working now. And these guys, I do think all are linking up play. Now, overall, though, I do think Chelsea do need to go and get a win in this match. We can't just play back and look for a draw, because I do think all 3 points are very necessary. So it wouldn't be surprising if, again, we come out and just hit them as hard as possible like we've done in the last handful of matches, because if we're able to do that, the high pressure, I think, will be very difficult for Napoli to actually do anything with that. We'll be able to control the midfield, which we obviously have seen time and time again, especially with these guys in the midfield. More likely than not, Reece James will push up, Caicedo will push up as well, and then we will see something along the lines where it's Chalobah and Fofana really just kind of holding that back line. And like I said, we've seen Sanchez play phenomenal, had some critical saves this past weekend against Crystal Palace. I do think, again, he's the right goalkeeper for us. I do think he fits this tactics and system for Rosenior, and because of that, I do think, again, this guy can actually help Chelsea and elevate them to get them to the next level. Overall, Chalobah and Fofana, like I said, I am a little bit worried at how well and how much these guys have played, but overall, I do think both these guys, again, can defend quite well. Reece James and Cucurella can obviously drop back when they need to, and because of this, this gives us this unique formation and shape to, like I said, make it very difficult for Napoli. They pretty much have to work on the outsides. They can't do anything down the middle, which Napoli have been doing time and time again from their Serie A matches and also in the Champions League. So like I said, if we shut that entire area down and nothing can happen here, I do think Napoli will struggle. Now, maybe they still score a goal here and there because they are playing at home, but still, this is Chelsea's match to go and get all 3 points, and we've seen it with this manager. We have won 4 of the 5 matches. Even the match we lost to Arsenal, we still scored goals. Like, we've been actually terrorizing teams as of lately, and it's great to see as the fans. And like I said, I don't think this game will be any different. Napoli have been struggling as of lately. They have been leaky in their back line, and because of that, with our players that we have been seeing, I do think Neto, Esteban, João Pedro, even if we look at the teams that, or players that can come off the bench, whether we bring on Gittins for Neto, we bring on even, like, say, Garnacho for maybe someone else, all these players can then run at these tired legs, and because of that, it will make such a massive difference. And I do think we win this match 3-2. I do think, again, we give up a few goals. Not to be surprised, we are playing away. Playing in Napoli at home is always a difficult area. I do think they're undefeated, if I'm not mistaken, in the Champions League. They haven't won too many games, but they still are pretty good when they're at home. When they're away, way different. But again, you have to respect when you're playing a team at home, and this is no different to Napoli. So overall, though, I do think Chelsea, again, are the better team going into this match. Like I said, we We've already made it into the next phase. I do expect us, though, to get all 3 points and make it to the round of 16. Again, I think this Chelsea team is getting better and better each and every week. And because of that, it almost makes sense for us to make it to the round of 16, if not further in the Champions League. And obviously, the Premier League season is still going wild. A lot can happen. We're talking about that each and every week. But again, this is about Champions League. Tomorrow we play Napoli, and it's going to be a big game. So if you enjoy this stuff, make sure to like this video, comment down below what you think about this match, and I will see you in the next video.